The setting is Rhine-Ruhr 2025, the FISU World University Games, and the women's vault competition is about to start. Good luck to all of them. A very interesting women's vault final coming up. The top performer in qualification, unsurprisingly, was Miyata Shoko from Japan, the all-around champion and part of the Japanese team that won the gold medal. The finalists in the women's vault competition: Miyata Shoko, the top performer in the preliminary stage, and the reigning World University Games vault champion, will go last. The second best performer in qualifying will start, Ushioku Kohane, her own teammate. They both have the same degree of difficulty. Miyata Shoko, the penultimate gymnast. I think I might have said she was the last gymnast to go. That, of course, is Celeste Mordenti of Luxembourg. Blythe, what should we be looking for here ahead of this women's vault competition?
Well, vault is an apparatus that the routines are over quite quickly, but the judges are actually evaluating 4 different things. There's what they call the pre-flight, and that's what happens from the time the gymnast hits the springboard until their hands touch the actual vaulting table. Then there's the support phase, or when the hands are on the table. Finally, there's what they call second flight. You saw that with the twist right there from the gymnast warming up. It's everything that happens once the gymnast leaves the table, and then lastly there's the landing. All of these things are evaluated separately, but the judges are looking for good form, and when I say good form, we talk about knees together, legs straight, body extension, a definition of the shape of whatever the vault is. If it's a piked vault, the gymnast really needs to show the body bending in the air and the clear pike position. The same thing if the vault is laid out or tucked. And of course, it's a bonus if the gymnast can stick the landing. And it's something that we see from Miyata Shoko. Not only does she have some of the highest difficulty on vault, she is one of the rare gymnasts who, in the past few years, has been consistently sticking her landings.
On the subject of things that are a bonus for Ushioku Kohane, her mere presence in this final is a bonus because she was ruled out of it at the World University Games in Chengdu. There is the gymnast we're talking about. 2 years ago, she was the victim of the 2 per country rule. She was a very strong performer, but 2 of her own teammates finished above her in qualification, and she was not able to make it into the final. Now she is here. We're also going to watch carefully Bilge Tarhan, who was 4th in the vault final at the Games 2 years ago, 6th best in qualifying for this particular competition. Can she make it onto the podium this time? Turkey has some strong vaulters. Atiye Karademir will be vaulting 3rd in this final. Her her difficulty, as we look at her teammate Bilge Tarhan, her difficulty is 4/10 lower in total than Bilge Tarhan. They've got the same difficulty score for the first vault, but Karademir has a 3.6 for her second vault, and we think that will be the lowest difficulty vault performed by anyone in this final. We're also going to watch very carefully for Celeste Mordenti of Luxembourg in the second half of the final. She'll go last. She was the 4th best in qualification. This one will likely keep us guessing for quite a while. We begin the women's vault competition at Rhein-Ruhr 2025, the FISU World University Games, the summer edition, the 32nd of their kind. Representation here from the prestigious Nippon Sports Science University. It was founded in 1893. Ushioku Kohane of the Nippon Sports Science University, the 2nd best performer in qualification on this apparatus. One of 2 gymnasts, the other her own teammate Miyata Shoko, that we expect to see perform a double twisting Yurchenko vault.
And a very nicely controlled double twisting Yurchenko it was. Note the slight step off to the side over the tram line, just on the landing. That will be a 1/10 of a point penalty.
Right, I think now is a good time to go into what the double twisting Yurchenko is, because we will see a full twist on a few occasions.
That we will. Essentially, what she does is a round off onto the springboard and then a back handspring onto the table. She pushes off and she does a laid out somersault with 2 complete twists before she lands.
That receives a 5.0 difficulty score. The full twisting version receives a 4.2 difficulty score. There is an intermediary vault, the 1.5, which receives a 4.6. We don't anticipate seeing that at any point in this final, but we did see it on a few occasions in the all-around and the team competition. We may see it, just never know. Sometimes gymnasts do decide to upgrade based on qualifying. You'll know it if you see it, because the gymnast will come out of that Yurchenko style entry and they'll land facing away from the table. That's what's distinctive and unusual about the Yurchenko 1.5. Sometimes if you are newer to watching artistic gymnastics, it can be quite hard to see the difference between the full twist and the double twist, especially when it's performed in such a controlled way as it was there by Ushioku Kohane. .633 for the first vault. That is slightly lower than qualification by just about a 1/10. Not as strong in the execution. Now to her second vault. This had a 4.8 difficulty score in qualifying.
We saw a round off entry for her first vault. This is unlikely to be that. Gymnasts have to show 2 vaults from different groups, or essentially different entry positions, onto the table. And that was very nice indeed. That's a Sukahara style entry. Essentially a half turn onto the table, going forward from the springboard. And she does a back layout off with 1.5 twists. Good, steady vaulting on the part of Ushioku Kohane. It's powerful. There is a slight bend of her legs, and once again, she'll incur the 1/10 penalty on the landing. But overall, a pair of really good vaults. That should keep her in medal contention.
The vault gold medalist at the All Japan Apparatus Championships in November of last year. Ushioku Kohane from Aichi Prefecture in south-central Honshu, Japan's largest island. Beautiful place. A quarter of the whole prefecture is national parks. It is a verdant and wonderful place to go for sightseeing. She scores 13.466 for the second vault. And the average score is 13.549. So she has dropped by about a tenth and a half from qualification. It's a small drop. It is very likely to be in medal contention.
The next finalists. Representing Canada,
Virginie Therrien of Canada. The 18-year-old is from the lovely city of Montreal. And she attends a public French language college in the La Salle borough.
This is going to be interesting. She did warm up Yurchenko with 1.5 twists.
Well, fortunately, she seems to be on her feet and not feeling any ill effects. That is exactly what we were talking about earlier, that the indicated vault on the board was the full twisting Yurchenko. She decided to put the extra half twist in, and it was a little uncomfortable to watch.
It's a risk that the gymnast takes. She doesn't get a tremendous block off of the table, which means her height is impacted. And when you have that happen, you don't have much time to get that 1.5 twist around and open out in order to bend your knees and absorb the landing. She definitely comes up short here, and the result is the fall.
This is an example of a gymnast who qualified in 9th place for the final, trying to get that extra push of difficulty, because there's 4 additional tenths available for that vault compared to what she did in qualification. And probably she was thinking, if I get that and I land it, I go into medal contention.
And she did do it very well in the warm-up.
It's a 12.133. Unfortunately, the only damage was done to the scoreboard because it had the potential to be quite a difficult landing. Now, the difficulty of this second vault, we anticipate being a 3.8. Let's have a look.
And there she just opts for a very simple Sukahara layout. Something someone of her level will be able to do easily. A clean, safe second vault.
And as you said, Blythe, the Yurchenko 1.5 was done very well in the warm-up process. It's one of those things where it just didn't quite happen in the final.
No question, she can do that vault very well. And this just a demonstration of good, solid vault technique.
That will receive a significantly higher execution score than the opening vault. It's likely to be a better scoring vault actually than the first, even though there's such a drop in difficulty of 0.8 of a mark. She will stay in the lead, Ushioku Kohane. Nice sense of respect and camaraderie. Virginie Therrien with a 12.533 for the second vault, so indeed better than the first. 12.333. That is overall a drop of about 0.6 of a mark from qualification. to Atiye Bera Karademir of Bolu Abant Ized Baysal University. She represents Turkey. She is the 5th best in qualification. And she was the silver medalist on this apparatus at the last national championships.
Nice power and a very well-controlled landing on this Yurchenko with a full twist.
So we have now seen the double twisting Yurchenko as the opening vault from Ushioku, the 1.5 twisting Yurchenko as the opening vault from Therrien, and the full twist from Karademir. This is the 4.2 degree of difficulty vault.
And one reason that it is considered less difficult than its other variations is that the gymnast really has time to spot the landing. In the air, she will see the mat and know or approximate what she needs to do, how hard she needs to pull to get her body around and stick it or nearly stick it.
She's been consistently on the podium on this apparatus in national competitions. She was the national champion last year and at the Turkish team championships as well. And she is one of a number of young gymnasts in the early stages of their undergraduate studies in coach education. So she'll be very useful in 10, 20 years' time, bringing the next generation of vaulters through. 13.133. That's an improvement from qualification of almost a 10th. Well done to her. We expect her to be applicable for the 0.2 bonus on vault, and we'll come to that if it's necessary. That was lovely.
Oh yes, very good indeed. What a strong pair of vaults from this young Turkish gymnast. And you mentioned the bonus. She will actually have 0.2 of a point added to her final score because she does her 2 vaults going in different directions. This, the handspring front pike, obviously traveling forward. Her first vault coming off the table was going backwards. And now when you do that in women's gymnastics, you do get 0.2 of a point.
And that was a change made at the start of this year, wasn't it, as part of the new code of points?
After the Olympic Games, the technical committees for the International Gymnastics Federation re-evaluate and decide often on some changes, some new rules. Sometimes the values of elements go up and down a bit. And one thing that they have put in place for the upcoming 3 years and this year is this 0.2 bonus to encourage gymnasts to do greater variety in their vaulting.
12.666 and an 8.866 execution score. That is 13.099. She's in second place. I'll just tell you, by the way, Karademir has added 0.2 to her difficulty score from qualification. That's been very useful. Bilge Tarhan of Marmara University at her 2nd consecutive game. She was 4th in Chengdu 2 years ago.
Normally this is a very solid Yurchenko full. Yep.
Little backwards movement.
And that's the type of landing deduction that is probably going to be about 0.3 of a point. But there will be no penalty for going out of bounds. She gets a very good block or pop off of the table. We'll see it here. And that just shoots her into the air, giving her plenty of time to execute the full twist cleanly and open out for the landing. There's also quite a well-defined layout position in the air. She just pikes her body slightly as she comes in for the landing. But still, a very nice first fall.
Her second games and the second university that she's represented at the games. 13, exactly the same as qualification. We anticipate Virginie Therrien to be also eligible for the .2 bonus. A lot about her credentials will depend on the clarity of this second vault. She got 8.65 for her execution in the preliminary stage.
Handspring front pike. She doesn't get a whole lot of distance away from the table as she comes off of it. And amplitude is something that is evaluated on vault. There's also a rather low landing with the chest bending towards the floor as she comes in.
And what she manages to do, distinctly different from Karademir, is get the body back round so it's facing the table, and in doing so acquire a little extra difficulty.
Yes. We'll see the half twist. Handspring on front pike, and then the half twist in the air. It actually might help her a bit because just like with the Yurchenko full, when you do that half twist, you spot the mat, so she'll be able to see where she is in the air and know she needs to pull just a little harder perhaps to go out for a very good landing. She does come in quite piked. Maybe ideally there would be a bit more of an open out just at the end of that vault.
.566 leads to a 12.983 average score. She's in the bronze medal position, but we've only had 4 gymnasts so far. For Virginie Therrien, it's a little drop from qualifying. Very small. So far, Ushioku has gone down a little from qualifying, but she leads with high difficulty. Therrien dropped down from qualifying. Karademir has gone up. Tarhan's gone down. So the gymnast from Turkey, the first one, who's in the silver medal position, Atiye Bera Karademir, is the only gymnast we've seen in this final who's actually improved upon their qualification score. And one wonders, does that potentially open the door for some others in the second half? We have the bronze medalist from the last games, Dominika Ponizilova, who's going to compete. We've got Zelina Kickinger, who was the third best in qualification, Miyata Shoko, the top qualifier, and Celeste Mordenti, the fourth best qualifier. All of these remaining 4 gymnasts, we think, if all is done according to what they did in qualification, all will pick up the 2/10 bonus. And we just remind you again, for those of you newer to gymnastics in this particular code of points, that 2/10 is for vaults that have the gymnast working in different directions for each vault, a forwards and a backwards vault. It's been put in there to incentivize variety. Miyata Shoko has been put in the Japanese team to win medals, and she's doing it very well. It's been an emotional return to the national team for her. A spell out. She missed the last Olympic Games. She's put it behind her. And she's going to be putting a lot of medals in her suitcase based on what we're seeing from her.
She really looks better than she ever has, and that's really saying something, given the way that she's performed at the last 2 World Championships.
Hello to you too. Lovely when fans see themselves on the big screen, get so excited. hello to you wherever you're watching from. I hope you're having a splendid start to your weekend. It might be well into your weekend if you're watching from certain parts of the world. You might just be beginning it, watching from other parts. Whatever time of day or night it is for you, you are so welcome here at Rhine-Ruhr 2025. And if you are also a student, if you're an undergraduate or a postgraduate, maybe you finished your summer exams, hope you can rest and relax a little. Maybe you should be revising for them now, I don't know. It's not my business. Keep watching the gymnastics, they'll be good for your mental health. Can't switch off now, you're midway through a great vault final. Dominika Ponizilova, bronze medalist from Chengdu 2 years ago. Great to have her back. She's an extremely accomplished vaulter. We think there'll be a 4.4 difficulty first vault. This will be different from what we've seen so far. Indeed so.
Yes, that was a Sukahara with the full twist. So we've already seen a Sukahara with 1.5 twists from Ushioku Kohane.
She's the first gymnast not to begin with a Yurchenko entry vault, I believe, in this final.
With the Sukahara full, one of the keys is keeping the body completely laid out all through the second phase. She does a nice job. Also good leg extension. The legs were slightly apart during the support phase, and there was the small hop on the landing. And difficulty, of course, will be a factor here. This is not as difficult as some that we have seen, particularly from Ushioku Kohane.
But the counterpoint is that it is more difficult than the opening vaults that we've seen from some of the other gymnasts. So 6 of one, half a dozen of another. 13.2 for Ponizilova is an improvement of 500ths from qualification. Her second vault scored 12.45 in the preliminary round. Can she maximize the execution?
Well.
That looked quite sharp.
And indeed it was.
Has that made her a factor? She was the 7th best in the qualification process. Got a nice performance with that second vault.
This is a vault that we have not seen yet in this final. It's a handspring front tuck with a half twist, very poppy. See the good rise off the table, and really effortless the front half at the end. If she is to challenge for a medal here, like you said, she will do it on execution. And with just the smallest of hops on the landing, something likely to cost just 1/10 of a point, she has potentially put herself in contention here.
She's into the silver medal position. 13.116 is the average, up by just over 1/10 from qualifying. 12.633 for that second vault. She gained about 2/10 in execution. It's Ushioku, then Ponizilova, then Karademir. We have 3 remaining. Here is the 3rd best performer in qualifying, Zelina Kickinger. We anticipate that she will have 2/10 lower in difficulty than the previous gymnast, Ponizilova.
Let us find out. A very well-flighted Yurchenko with a full twist from Zelina Kickinger. She said at the European Championships in May that she was actually working on the Yurchenko with the double full twist. And this is the Yurchenko full of somebody who is training something harder.
Yeah, she's got time in the air, hasn't she?
Heaps of it. The block is excellent. The extension, really superb as well.
She is experienced enough to know when the time will be right to start deploying that vault in competition.
We did wonder, watching her warm-up, she did a lot of Yurchenko layouts. And sometimes in the training, that's what you see from somebody who does a double full. They do a whole lot of just the single layout, and then they crank a double twist.
13.333 is up from qualification. The execution, very good. We'll be putting a post-it note on that vault and coming back to it, I think, in the months and years ahead to see when that 4.2 difficulty score increases and more twisting goes on. But for now, she's very much in the picture. Vault number 2 was a 4.0 difficulty score in qualification. Those are 2 very good vaults. She will likely feature as we get close to the end of this final.
She's having a phenomenal season. In World Cup competition, she won her first ever medals earlier this spring. And there's a new dimension to her gymnastics, a maturity, but also a difficulty and a polish that's been really lovely to see.
She is studying to become a secondary school teacher. English is one of her focuses. She also wants to focus on physical education.
This is the handspring front pike with a half twist. We saw something, but in the tucked position, quite similar from Ponizilova just now. And it's more difficult, this vault, because she does keep her legs straight and has to get her body around in a less aerodynamic position, shall we say. She does it well.
There are going to be some really wonderful moments in years to come when her students discover what she used to do and see the evidence of it on YouTube of her at these major competitions. 13, she has gone into the silver medal position with a 13.366. That is an example of top quality execution and controlled difficulty. Selina Kikinga is in the silver medal position. Ushioku Kohane is in gold. Here comes the top qualifier, Miyata Shoko of Japan.
Just wonderful. A smooth double twisting Yurchenko with a near stuck landing.
And that is an example of what we were saying at the start. That's the 5.0 difficulty vault, the double twist, but it is performed with such control that you almost have to watch to check that that second twist is there.
Her air awareness is one of, well, second to none, really, amongst the great vaulters of the world. She's got really cat-like reflexes when it comes to the landing of this vault. One small point is see the leg separation during the support phase as she comes onto the table. That will be a slight deduction. And although it was very close, she didn't stick the landing. That will also be a slight mark down.
What she will have is the difficulty cushion to allow for it. 13.766, it's a very high score. It is down from qualification by a couple of tenths for the reasons that Blythe Lawrence indicated. The second vault will be interesting to watch because she had 3 penalty tenths removed from her score for going out of bounds in the preliminary stage.
This is going to be another one from a round off, but a half twist onto the table this time.
Again, she goes out of bounds. It is likely, just from a difficulty standpoint, to guarantee her a place on the podium, and it may well be gold. We'll have to find out. Japan certainly will win the gold medal from a difficulty perspective.
Clearly. And yes, she is going to get a 0.3 of a point penalty for this vault as well because of the way that she puts both of her feet outside the tram lines. That said, the difficulty is very high. Round off, half twist onto the table, and then a front layout with a half twist off.
It's going to be close between her and her teammate Ushioku Kohane. And can you imagine if Ushioku manages to hold on to win this, considering that she was ruled out of the final by the strength of her own teammates? The one she's just hugged there won the gold medal in Chengdu. But Ushioku has waited for 2 years for the chance to take to the runway and be in a vault final at the World University Games. Only 2 per country allowed in the final. They've got such team strength, the Japanese. They almost never seem to care which of them wins. You get the feeling they're not really trying to beat each other, they're simply trying to get the best score they possibly can. It will be very close. Which of them is it? It's Miyata again. 13.699. She's into the gold medal position, and she's one performance away from retaining her title from the last games. The score for the second vault was 13.233. The difference is that she has the 0.2 of bonus. That's what has kept her in the lead. Now to the last gymnast, Celeste Mordenti. She has the vaulting quality to get onto the podium. Kickinger is in bronze with 13.366. Mordenti in qualification scored 13.225. We expect Kickinger to have a couple of tenths of difficulty ahead of Mordenti. Mordenti does perform that well. She has a bit of a backwards move on the landing, but the flight was strong.
Between her and Kickinger, it is a battle of Yurchenko fulls. And this one was certainly comparable to what we saw from Zelina Kickinger. The difference really comes on the landing, where Mordenti does have a more significant hop backwards. And when you think about the small, medium, and large errors, if the bounce is bigger than the width of her shoulders, she is likely to lose half a point in execution. And pretty clearly it was. Other than that, though, they are both excellent in the air, both displaying really beautiful form.
Celeste Mordenti is a student in her 3rd year. She's just finished her 3rd year examinations at the Free University in Amsterdam. 13.133, so it is a little lower than the score of Kickinger by 0.2. She specializes in artificial intelligence, Celeste Mordenti, and she also specializes in winning Dutch national titles, even though she represents Luxembourg. She won the Dutch title on vault last year. She's the reigning Dutch uneven bars champion too. That's lovely. Very well performed. She's going to get extremely close to the podium, Celeste Mordenti. She might make it onto it. Whatever she does, wherever she finishes, at the age of 22, she's producing the best gymnastics of her life. And frankly, I don't think we'll be saying that in a couple of years' time. I think she'll be better then.
Her improvement has really been astonishing, and she's beginning to get the results that back that up. What a well-controlled handspring front pike. Just the tiniest hop on the landing. It was lovely in the air. And look at the definition, diver-like, of the pike. Great vaulting by Celeste Mordenti.
From an execution point of view, that's one of the single best performed vaults of the entire final.
Clearly.
It does have a lower difficulty score than Kickinger's by 2/10. I remind you that it is Miyata 1, Ushioku 2, Kickinger 3. This is the most anxious weight of her career. We thought she would get very close. She has done. 4th place. Excellent effort from Celeste Mordenti. And it means that Zelina Kickinger has won the bronze medal. That's the culmination of a fantastic year and a half for her, where she's been getting better and better and better. Reigning, defending, retaining World University Games vault champion Miyata Shoko of Japan over her teammate Ushioku Kohane. And what a special moment for Ushioku, who was not able to compete in the vault final in Chengdu because there were 2 Japanese gymnasts who finished higher than her in qualification, even though she was in the top 8. After a British gold medal on floor, normal service resumed, and the Japanese win again. The classified results in the women's vault competition at the Rheinruhr 2025 World University Games. Bronze to Zelina Kickinger of Austria, silver to Ushioku Kohane of Japan, and the gold medal won for the 2nd games in a row by Miyata Shoko of Japan, who is also the all-around champion and who also won gold with the team. She now has 3 titles. I'm so sad it's the last day of artistic gymnastics competition, but so excited that we've got this great final to bring you. Let's have a look at the contenders. McDonald leading the gymnasts to their warm-up positions, and she led everyone in qualification. It's always one of the great crowd-pleasing finals, the women's uneven bars. We expect this to be no exception. The finalists in the women's uneven bars competition, and we're going to begin with Kate McDonald of Deakin University in Australia. She was the top performer in qualifying with a score of 14.35. Yang Fanyu will go 3rd. She was the 2nd best with 14.2. the third best, so if Szekely scored 14 exactly, she'll go 6th. This could be a very unpredictable and unusual final. But a lot will depend, Blythe, on what we see with this first routine from Kate McDonald. If she hits, then she will give people an extremely difficult score to chase. In qualification, she was fantastic. In the all-around final, she had issues on this apparatus. But she's one of the best out there on the uneven bars. She's been winning World Cup medals, indeed World Cup titles this season.
She has one of the most fluid and prettiest swings you will ever see on uneven bars, and an amazingly high Kachev release skill as well. But you're right, uneven bars is rather all or nothing. The big deductions are pretty obvious, and when a gymnast does emit those in the competition, well, the penalty is pretty severe. Of course, on uneven bars, you can't stop. You can't collect yourself the way that you might be able to on balance beam or floor exercise. And what we're seeing so often from gymnasts, including Yang Fanyu, is really intricate combination work.
That's a very interesting point about stopping and collecting yourself, because after your first vault, you can stop and breathe for a moment. On beam, although you're not supposed to hesitate a great deal, you can pause, compose yourself, disguise it with some choreography.
Completely.
You have the guilty look on your face of somebody who's done that yourself as a gymnast over the years.
Many, many times.
And on floor, again, you can maybe just take a moment. We see it, gymnasts go into the corner, they breathe, and then they go into the tumbling pass. But yes, on the uneven bars, no opportunity for that. You must keep on going.
The errors are much harder to disguise on this apparatus.
For those of you who are newer to watching the uneven bars, naturally a lot of attention we focus on the big release moves that the gymnast does on the high bar, and we'll talk through some of those in this final. We also focus a lot on how they get from low to high and back again. You'll hear terms like pack salto going from high to low, and various variations of the Shaposhnikova skill to go from the low to the high. But sometimes what we can lose is the focus on things like handstands.
And handstands are actually quite critical. The judges do want to see a straight vertical for every handstand that is done, just like that. And if you're even a little bit outside of that vertical position, when you finish a pirouetting skill, there is a deduction.
There's a minute degree of tolerance, but it's not significant.
And actually those handstand faults, they can also affect whether the gymnast gets difficulty credit for the pirouette skill that they're attempting.
We will begin the women's uneven bars final. Yesterday, we saw something very unusual. Kate McDonald vaulted. She did it as part of the all-around final. She also did it for the team. Now she's back to doing her specialism, the uneven bars. She won the World Cup title in Qatar earlier this year. She's the top qualifier.
She begins with the Weiler, the hips coming into the bar and the half turn. And it looks like she was improvising right off the top. Now, there's going to be a significant deduction associated with that, even though she didn't fall. And there as well, difficulties on the pack salto transition. She's fought really hard to keep this routine going, overarched in the handstand as well.
Moments of wonderful for gymnastics on the uneven bars from Kate McDonald. Regrettably, it will not score in the region of the 14.35 that it did in qualification. She did have some trouble in the all-around final yesterday.
It's rare when an entire uneven bars routine looks like one large save, but that was really what we just saw from Kate McDonald. Good on her for battling through that and doing it as well as she did. The dismount sequence was particularly impressive. The Weiler kip was good. The Maloney transition as well, and then the clear hip circle. She doesn't shoot her feet towards the ceiling at exactly the point that she needs to in order to get a clean swing out of it. But here, the dismount, full twisting double tuck done in combination with a toe stalder. That was very nice.
Deakin University is regarded as one of the very finest in the entire region of Oceania. She is a student of environmental management and sustainability. She's been such a brilliant team player at these games, as the most experienced member of the Australian squad by far.
She actually won the Commonwealth Games title on balance beam in 2022.
12.766 is Kate McDonald's score. Unfortunately, it's a mark and a half and then some away from her preliminary round result. This is a gymnast who produced an enormous display on the uneven bars that was pivotal to the French bronze medal in the team competition. She then replicated it in the all-around final and nearly made it onto the podium as the 15th best qualifier. Celia Serber.
And a very good toe stalder with half turn to Pike Jaeger. The pack salto, the simple flip from high bar to low bar, nicely done as well. She's swinging well, and lovely Ginger going in the opposite direction as the Ginger often does. Winding up for her dismount, double layout. What a nice routine.
She's been so consistent with that routine at these games. Appropriately enough, the 21-year-old from Dijon has proven that that routine cuts the mustard. She just keeps getting it right.
She's got tremendous upper body strength, as evidenced just by her kip handstand mount. Here is the pack salto, the ubiquitous pack salto, a transition we see time and again on uneven bars. It was just nicely swung, good extension in the Maloney, the toe stalder to high bar. Some aggressive handstands as well. And the beautiful position on her double layup, just the steps forward.
The pack salto named after the late Pak Kyung-sil from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Competed at the 1992 Olympic Games. Departed the world all too young. Celia Serber has only recently returned from a stress fracture in her back. You talked about the strength she has. Even more remarkable to display it, considering the injury issues that she's had. And she was trying to get to the European Championships in Leipzig and decided not to do it. And what a great decision to not do it and to come back when she was really ready. 12.966 on this occasion. It's lower than qualification. It is a leading score, nonetheless. to Yang Fanyu of the People's Republic of China, second best in qualifying.
She has a wonderful element named after her on the uneven bars earlier this season. I don't think we're going to see it today, but yes, we are. And there it was, the full twisting layout Jaeger. Wonderful. And then a downy to pack salto to immediate Stalderful. That was smooth and very, very nice. And look at her handstand work. Straight up and down. Full twisting, double tuck dismount. What a routine.
That might win it. Yang Fanyu, the reigning Asian champion on the uneven bars, and she's just recently defended her national title too. And believe me, there are a lot of contenders in China for that national title. I think she must have heard you and said, Blythe doesn't think I'm going to do that move. I'm doing it.
Obviously, she actually didn't warm it up, and she didn't do it the other day in the qualifying, obviously saving it and making it even more spectacular here. She's ever so slightly out of handstand at the end of that Stalderful, but that's being really nitpicky. It was a wonderfully smooth combination. And the full twisting double tuck, still rather new for her, actually. It's an upgrade from what she was competing a year or two ago. She's made such incredible strides on this apparatus since she has turned senior and moved onto the Chinese national team.
She also attends Beijing Sport University, a double first-class university founded in 1953 as the Central Institute of Physical Education. The double first-class universities, that's a distinction in the People's Republic of China for the leading academic institutions. It's produced nearly 100 Olympic champions for Beijing Sport University. I presume they've got a rather large room with all of them written on a board somewhere and space for many more.
She was the top scorer on uneven bars in World Cup competition earlier this year. Her high was somewhere around 14.8.
There's no doubt that this will go into the lead. It's just by how much. There are some good routines to come, very good routines to come. She's got such a high scoring routine that she's been able to win World Cup competitions with significant errors this year. But there were no significant errors here. Oh, it's 15! It's a colossal score. Yang Fanyu, she's well on the way. Gold beckons. That's an absolutely extraordinary performance from a Chinese gymnast. A Chinese gymnast follows her teammate Shang Lulu. 13.7 in qualifying. She had a 6.2 difficulty in the preliminary round.
And we're going to see much the same type of release that we saw from Yang Fanyu. There it is, the layout Jaeger, done from an inverted giant. Puts such stress on the shoulders, having the hands go around the bar that way. This is very good work. She slightly overbalances her handstand, but pulls things together. And again, more intricate giants and pirouetting. Dismount, full twisting double tuck. That's hard for her.
There have been some issues with that dismount. Shang Lulu, it's another very hard routine, a very exciting one. Now, it's not out of the question with a routine of that complexity that she could still find herself in a medal contending position as we go through this competition.
We'll have to wait and see. She actually did have some significant handstand errors, 10 degrees is what is allowed for one to be out of handstand. And while the skills are very hard, there was a real lack of momentum, particularly in the giants as she wound up for the full twisting double tuck attempt. It's very hard spinning on one hand, but if you just watch the way that she releases, and then she doesn't have much of a tap into the dismount, and it just kind of goes straight up and down.
I can't believe we've just seen a 15 from Yang Fanyu. Lulu is at the Shanghai University of Sport. It's another of the double first-class universities. We still have 4 to come. Those gymnasts are warming up. (15) from Yang Fanyu. Now you've been digging around and you've uncovered that is the second time this season she's produced that. Is that right?
Indeed. She did it in the apparatus finals at the Chinese Championships earlier this year. Clearly, she is somebody who brings her very best to a final, and the only other person to score higher than 15, the Olympic champion.
12.166 for Shang Lulu. She actually ended up with a 6.666 for execution. And most significantly, she didn't get anything like the difficulty that she normally produces, 5.5 versus 6.2. Had she had the full difficulty score, that would actually have been challenging for the silver medal position at the halfway stage. Yang Fanyu leads by a very small margin at the top of the table in this women's uneven bars final. Szekely and Shoko, the Olympic champion, the reigning Olympic champion, a 15.1 this year. So what you have just seen here at the World University Games is the second highest score, joint second highest score in the world this year on the uneven bars. We really are getting some of the very finest gymnastics on the planet at Rhine-Ruhr 2025. And there is a great link between university education and gymnastics clubs, especially in this country. Fukasawa Kokoro from the University of Tsukuba in Japan, 50 kilometers from the center of Tokyo. It is the institution of the great Kato Sawao, who won 8 Olympic gold medals in this sport,
including back-to-back Olympic all-around titles.
You knew you'd know which ones they were.
Well, it's a difficult opening release move, unfortunately, for Fukasawa. The knees bent. She's done well to keep the routine going, but the execution deductions are going to be significant. Very good bahardwaj there, the pack salto with full twist. This is a routine that just keeps going and going. Full twisting double tuck.
It's a remarkably complicated routine from Fukasawa Kokoro. One wonders whether there was really ever a sense of full command, of full control.
It can be very difficult, especially on uneven bars where once again everything has to flow from one element to the next. When you make a mistake like she did on the first release skill, it can be hard to get everything back to where it should be. Sometimes the mistakes on this apparatus compound themselves. The second half of the routine, though, significantly cleaner than the first half. But in its construction, frankly, it's very tiring for the gymnast. She doesn't get any difficulty credit for the kip, the half turn, and then the giants here before her dismount. And all of the time, she is, well, there's a threat that she emits execution deductions.
The last day of competition. Only natural for the athletes to feel a little fatigued with all that they've done. Fukasawa won silver with the team at the last games in Chengdu. Gold medalist this time. She's been through a lot on the uneven bars. She's proven herself to be a very determined athlete. It was a problematic piece for her at the World Championships in her debut in 2022. 12.7, the execution 6.9, so she is in fourth place. Yang stays in the lead. There's room for somebody to jump onto the podium. Zoya Szekely of Hungary. You may have noticed Zofia Kovac was helping her chalk the bar. Kovac, who has marked her return to competition at these games. But this is a gymnast who has won a European Championship medal on the apparatus.
And the door is really open for Zoya Szekely here. Her stalders are really world class. And that was a strong in-bar ginger. She also does in-bar work. And what a nice pike Jaeger. This is a routine that could get a medal if she can just hold on through the dismount, done in combination. Wow.
She knows. She is fully aware that that is going to contend for the podium. Almost certainly that will go into the silver medal position. Zoya Szekely. And if that is the case, she'll have an extremely good chance of holding on. There was her teammates celebrating with her.
There's a lot going on in this exercise. It flows from bar to bar. Her form is lovely. Stalder Shaposhnikova transition right into the ginger facing the low bar. She's had great success with this exercise. And look at the clean, high Jaeger. Lovely snap to that element. And then the dismount done in combination from a toe stalder. Full twisting, double tuck. That's a stick. What a hit.
The student of physical education at the Hungarian University of Sports Science, the oldest sports university in Hungary. And she's only 22, but she's a young veteran. She won a silver medal at the European Championships and a bronze with the team in 2020. In Leipzig, she competed at her 8th European Championships. There's no doubt it's going into second place. It's 13.8. Zoya Szekely. Now she has the anxious wait to see if she's made it onto the podium. It would be Hungary's first honours in gymnastics at these games. In artistic gymnastics. Ainara Sautua of Spain. 8th best in qualifying, 13.55. She could win a medal too.
She's going for the difficulty with the in-bar Stalder fault. Unfortunately, she finished it quite out of handstand, and we've talked about how handstand deductions can really chip away at a gymnast's score. There's another in-bar blind, straight to Jaeger, and oh, such an ambitious routine. And yes, she'll lose a full mark for the fall. But still, there are some lovely elements to that. And once she puts it all together, it's going to be excellent.
Exciting young gymnast, the 20-year-old, a senior international debutant. She's only performed on the bars this season. Her results in the Spanish league have been very compelling. She studies at the Universidad Complutense de Madrid, which was founded in 1293. It's one of the oldest and most prestigious universities in the world.
It's a nice transition from the pack salto, the Stalder Shaposhnikova. It's a lovely line to her work as well. And once again, the in-bar Stalders, where the toes come near the bar but don't touch. Very tidy. And this dismount is a throwback to an earlier era of gymnastics from the handstand, a hecht and a back tuck off.
It's lovely, isn't it? Very much, as you say, an old-fashioned sort of move.
Vintage gymnastics, if you will. But still pretty difficult.
It's always nice to see things that take one by surprise. It's lovely when skills from days gone by make a reappearance. Here we go. Let's have a look at it again.
And she does it in combination with a toe Stalder. It's fresh, it's unexpected.
You could tell that based on the reaction of the crowd. 12.066. Lots of potential in that routine, lots of it. Miyata Shoko could get onto the podium. 13.7 was her qualification score. 12.966 currently holds bronze.
She gets right into things with a Jaeger. Well executed. And a big Kachev straight to pack salto. That was very nice too. There's her Maloney. And into an in-bar Ginger. She's better known for her work on vault and floor exercise, but this has been very good. Only the dismount now.
Better known for other things, as you say, but I think she's known for virtually everything right now. Miyata Shoko is developing into one of the most complete all-around performers in the world. There can be little doubt that that wins a medal. And she is somebody without really major honours at international level on the uneven bars.
Look at the height and flight on her Kachev. And she combines it with the transition to the low bar once again. And note again, the body line, the toe point, the way that her legs just are glued together. It's very big work. And this dismount was plenty powerful. The giant swing into the double tuck with a full twist, and maybe the most authoritative stick of the day.
Fanyu, Szekely, Celia Serber, 1, 2 and 3 as things stand. The French gymnast may well suspect that There's a slightly vulnerable position for her on the leaderboard. She's done brilliantly, whatever happens. Miyata Shoko picks up the bronze medal, 13.666. Her magnificent return to international competition goes on. Yang Fanyu of the People's Republic of China, frankly, had won that from the second she touched down. Maybe even from the second she started. It was outrageously good. One of the best performances of the year. And Szekely of Hungary is your silver medalist. And that's a huge moment in her career. Because it's been a long time since we've actually seen her on a major international podium. She's worked so hard to get back. The consistency has been here at these championships, at these games. The classified results in the women's uneven bars competition. The bronze medal is won by Miyata Shoko of Japan, silver by Szekely of Hungary, and gold by 1.2 marks to Yang Fanyu of the People's Republic of China.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony für the Women's Artistic Gymnastics World Final. Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, die Sieger und Gerät und das Sprungfinale der Frauen. Please welcome the medalists. Bitte begrüßen Sie die Medaillengewinnerinnen. Die Medaillen, the medals will be presented by. Die Medaillen werden überreicht von Johanna Kratt, Artistic Gymnastics International Federation, Technical Delegate, technische Delegierte des Internationalen Turnverbandes. The gifts will be presented by. Die Präsente werden überreicht von Kim Bui, former elite gymnast, three-time Olympian and member of the IOC Athletes Commission, ehemalige Spitzenturnerin und dreifache Olympiateilnehmerin sowie Mitglied der IOC Athletenkommission. Third place and bronze medalist representing Austria. Dritter Platz, Gewinnerin der Bronzemedaille für Österreich, Selina Kickinger. Second place and silver medalist representing Japan. Zweiter Platz und Gewinnerin der Silbermedaille für Japan, Ushioku Kohane. First place, gold medalist and Rhein-Ruhr 2025 FISU World University Games champion, representing Japan, Erster Platz, Gewinnerin der Goldmedaille und der Rhein-Ruhr 2025 FISU World University Games für Japan, Miyata Shoko. Ladies and Gentlemen, die FISU Anthem. Meine Damen und Herren, die FISU-Hymne. Ladies and gentlemen, your Rhein-Ruhr 2025 medalists. Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, Ihre Rhein-Ruhr 2025 Medaillengewinnerinnen.
The medalists in the women's vault competition at the World University Games of Rhein-Ruhr 2025. The medal ceremony for the women's uneven bars competition is next.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for the women's artistic gymnastics uneven bars final.
Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, die Siegerin Gretton Stufenbarrenfinale.
Please welcome the medalists.
Bitte begrüßen Sie die Medaillengewinnerinnen.
The medals will be presented by.
Die Medaillen werden überreicht von Arturs Mickiewicz, FISU Artistic Gymnastics Technical Committee Chair, Vorsitzender des Technischen Ausschusses für Gerätturnen der FISU.
The gifts will be presented by.
Die Präsente werden überreicht von Michaela Röhrbein, Director of Sports Development, German Olympic Sports Federation, Vorstandsmitglied Sportentwicklung im Deutschen Olympischen Sportbund.
Third place and bronze medalist representing Japan.
Dritter Platz und Gewinnerin der Bronzemedaille für Japan, Miyata Shoko.
Second place and silver medalist representing Hungary.
Zweiter Platz und Gewinnerin der Silbermedaille für Ungarn, Szekely.
First place, gold medalist and Rhine-Ruhr 2025 FISU World University Games Champion representing People's Republic of China.
Erster Platz, Gewinnerin der Goldmedaille und der Rhein-Ruhr 2025 FISU World University Games für die Volksrepublik China, Fanyu.
Ladies and gentlemen, the FISU Anthem.
Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, die FISU-Hymne.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Rhine-Ruhr 2025 medalists.
Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, Ihre Rhein-Ruhr 2025 Medaillengewinner.
The medalists in the women's uneven bars competition at Rhine-Ruhr 2025. We nearly forgot to have the photograph.